Your latest news update from Western Mass News.
Good Tuesday afternoon. I'm Chris Pisano with a look at your headlines. Developing news out of Holyoke, where people are urged to stay away from the area around a building where a piece of the roof came tumbling down earlier today. Firefighters were called to the scene on High Street around 9:30 this morning when a portion of the building's roof fell off. Captain David Rex says winter weather and recent rain may have played a role in today's event. Northampton residents on Winter Street had to temporarily evacuate their houses due to a gas leak this morning. Officials say a gas main was hit by a construction crew just before 9. Nearby residents were briefly evacuated, and a portion of Prospect Street was closed as crews worked to fix the main and restore gas service. The U.S. Treasury Secretary issuing an urgent warning that the U.S. could default on its debt as early as June 1st. Now, a meeting is set 1 week from today between President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Last week, House Republicans passed a debt limit bill, allowing for an increase in exchange for spending cuts. In the past, Republicans have agreed to raise the debt ceiling with no demands, and President Biden says that's what he wants to happen now.
I'm meteorologist Jana Brown with a check of your forecast. Our pattern holding tight through the end of the week, so we're dealing with our upper level low. Scattered showers or isolated showers will return on Wednesday afternoon out through Wednesday night. Looking hit or miss throughout the day with occasional breaks of sun and well below normal temperatures. Actually looks to get a little bit cooler Thursday as that low continues to move eastward and our wind direction shifts more to the northeast. A lot of cloud cover and still chilly. And then Friday we'll finally start to get a little bit of a break. Saturday and Sunday, though, is when we see a complete change in our pattern. Overnight tonight, temperatures dropping down to the upper 30s with cloudy skies, a stray shower possible. Tomorrow morning looks to start dry, temperatures back to the mid 50s in the afternoon with some isolated to scattered showers. Temperatures will be back down to the lower and middle 50s on Thursday. Then we're back to around 60 on Friday. More clouds and sunshine and an isolated afternoon shower still possible. Saturday, though, looking dry, highs just shy of 70, but 70s are back for Sunday.
Stay with Western Mass News on air, online, and on our app throughout the day for breaking news, weather, and exclusive content.